Hey everybody, welcome back to yet another video, and let's start with a please like, share, comment, subscribe and all that wonderful stuff. If I get it done now, at least I remember. Bit of a light show again there. Is it because of the blind? No, Stephen Moore will have a blind up. Oh, there you go. So you just have to unfortunately suffer with a bit of a light streak across my face. Anyway, so this week I wanted to sort of continue on from last week's conversation where I was talking about a conversation I had about a student who's going into third year was saying, you know, he thinks it's easier now than it was because of AI, etc. And that conversation continued on after that, and I was talking about opportunities and work beyond university. Now, I would say there are far more roles related to IT available now than there were when I first started, because there's a lot more IT out there, and not necessarily always about development, but a lot of other things like DevOps, cybersecurity, etc. And other kind of roles around sort of database management, etc. So loads of them. So I'd say there's far more opportunities that are there now, but there are also a lot more people that are around to fill those opportunities. So I would say as a graduate, when I left university, it was quite a good time because there were a lot of roles and less people to take them up. So as an example, the first couple of roles as a graduate were a little bit more difficult, although they weren't difficult because I actually had a role for when I left university, and then I actually left that role after 3 months straight into another role. But after my third role, when I got made redundant for the first time, so it was actually my third role because I was in one for 3 months, I started looking for work, and I took a sort of month out and to do it. And so this is a point where I'd actually been, I was about 2 years in of experience at this point, so it wasn't sort of a brand new graduate. I was I'd gained 2 years experience. I'm waffling on there, but the point is that I remember that I was looking for a new role. I was maybe done looking for a new role. I decided to take a few weeks. I think in the end about 4 weeks before I start the next one. And I started looking for roles through agents, as you do. I was lopsided a bit there. And I would say that for the first few weeks, I had at least one interview every day, and some days two. And I think I had about 7 job offers. Now, I'm not sure if I was at this point now, 2 years into my sort of job experience, if it would be a similar kind of experience. I don't know. I can't honestly answer that because, let's face it, that's long gone. But I know at the time there was a lot of opportunities, and as I say, a few people to do them. So there was a lot of people trying to hire. Whereas now, obviously, there's a lot more roles, but maybe a lot more people. So I can't honestly say that, but I do know at the time, after you've got a little bit of experience, there were a lot of opportunities. This was sort of the early 2000s. In fact, I think it was year 2000, to be honest. It was January 2000 that the kind of this experience. So yeah, I'd say it was easier at that point to get roles because there were less experienced people to fill them, and so you had more chance and opportunity. But yeah, I'm not saying that you won't have that now. Just this is from my personal experience, and my experience of looking now would obviously be someone over 20 years worth of experience, and it's a lot more difficult to get roles because there's more expectation on what you need to provide. So yeah, just my personal insight into then, and maybe you can tell me if it matches someone who's been in roles for 2 years now. If you have and you found this a similar experience, please leave a comment. If you found that it's a much more difficult situation now, leave a comment, because it would be good to hear from people that are in that position now, as opposed to my experience 20 plus years ago, 25 years ago. Oh well. Right, yeah, well, I'm going to go now, so I will catch you in next week's video. Bye for now.